I guess we'll start.
Sure.
Good morning, everyone. This is Rich Pauley, the Fire Chief of the Town of Wellfleet, also Co-Emergency Management Director. I know Chief Hurley from Wellfleet Police, Co-Emergency Management Director, is also on the meeting. Chief, anything to say?
Nope, just good morning to everybody. Thanks, Chief.
Okay, what we're going to do, this is the April 21st, 2020 Emergency Management Team update of the Town of Wellfleet. This Tuesday. We have an agenda that we follow, which we'll continue to do so with every emergency management team department giving their updates and information. And once that is done, we will turn it over to the public if anyone has any questions or thoughts. Having said that, I'm going to ask Hillary from the Health Department if she has an update for us.
Good morning. There we go. I don't have so much of an update this morning. I think it's more of a review. So we're going to ask the public to continue to practice social distancing. We're going to continue to ask folks to wear their face masks out in public or anytime they're going into a store. We have distributed masks to all of the establishments that are open that have requested them. So when you're going out shopping, you should see folks in our food service businesses wearing their face masks as well. So we requested some face masks from the Medical Reserve Corps. We had received those and they were all distributed last week. We also had another request in at the high school. I received a few more masks from the high school yesterday. I went and picked those up. So those will be distributed tomorrow. And if anyone is in dire need of a mask, they can reach out to me by email, hillary.lemos@wellfleet-ma.gov, and we can arrange a pickup of a face mask. I have also asked the high school to make us some for children in case there are some children in need as well. So if more requests come in, we can certainly reach back out to the Medical Reserve Corps, but it is important that folks are wearing those face masks out in public. We currently don't have any active cases. Please, yes, go in your room, please. So that's a good thing for now. The curve, we're still climbing it. Obviously, I would still say we're a couple weeks behind Boston in that sense. So we want everyone to continue to remain vigilant. In addition to that, we are working with our restaurants, some who are open, some who plan on opening soon, to get their best practices in place. I have put them all in contact with our two super students from the state. So we're going to be rolling out some information to them and helping them work through their plans so that they can serve food safely. And I was going to this morning take you on a field trip through the DPH website because that is where our case counting is done. And they have just changed the format of what that looks like. So I think for the general public, if they open it up, it could look a little intimidating, but there is a lot of very useful information on there. So I'm going to attempt to try and share that. Oh, I'm disabled. Courtney, I'm disabled from screen sharing. I don't know if
I can share my screen. Is it just the DPH website?
Yeah, if you go to the DPH website, let me see here, and go to the case counts, or what they call as the dashboard.
The dashboard. I've just been getting to it from the top up here.
That's fine. I mean, I think you can get to it from there too.
So
if you go to, yep, the case count right there. Yeah.
And which one do you want to check out?
I want us to check out the cases in Massachusetts because that's updated daily.
Okay.
Are you moving?
And then that'll open up and there'll be a bunch of text. If you keep scrolling down, you'll get to graphs. And I think the most interesting is probably going to be the case-by-case graph by county. So that's just the cumulative cases. That's all of the confirmed cases in Massachusetts. And if we scroll down, Barnstable County is on this page. It's the light blue. So you can actually take a look at the curve on the right and see where we are and where we've come from. And then on the left, you can see the number of cases. So I think that's where you're going to go to find the number of cases. And then we can continue to scroll down. So from here, you can see the number of hospitalizations. And going down again, you can see death by age group. You can keep going down because then we get to the county information, which I think is most interesting. Nope. Nope, we lost the county deaths, but that's okay. So that's where the information is. It may seem a little bit difficult to get to, but all of the information is being presented there in graph format. So I think it's actually easier for the public to see. The other website, the Barnstable County Department of Health and Environment, is showing a heat map of Cape Cod. And you can go on there and click right into any town you're interested in. In Wellfleet, you'll see that we have 0 active cases, but that's where you can hone in and see how many active cases are in town. So this heat map is going to have probably more relevant information for local case counts compared to the states, because the state is only updating their town by town data, I believe, once a week at this point in time. So the county data is up to date on the state website, but the town by town data should be viewed here at the Barnstable County Department of Health and Environment website for the most up-to-date information. And with that, I think I'll hush up for a while unless anyone has any questions for me, or we can hold those till the end.
Oh, okay, thank you, Hillary. That's excellent information. I'll be going on that website after this call and reviewing it myself. Last week, we were trying to get a representative from Outer Cape Health Services to come on the call. I don't know if anyone is there. I don't know if Pat's there, maybe. Courtney, do you see anyone from Outer Cape Health?
I do. I just don't know what the full, if any, they can unmute themselves if they're on. We have 56 people on.
We were hoping to have Pat Nadel and Lisa Kane on the phone from Outer Cape Health Services. If you're on the phone, all you have to do on your phone is press *6 to unmute yourself.
Maybe they'll join later. I don't see anybody on.
Yeah, certainly if they can certainly ask to come in at any time. And we'd certainly like to hear from them if they're available. But at this point, I'll move on to Department of Public Works. Mr. Vincent, or?
Okay. Yeah, Chief, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. So at the Department of Public Works, again, this week, we have had to reprioritize our task and staff responsibilities to areas that we can accomplish projects and maintenance in a safe manner. And again, with assisting the police, fire, and administration and other departments when and where necessary during this unusual time, and to also coordinate with the emergency management team. Without going into a long laundry list of those tasks, we have decided that we will update those tasks on the town's website under updates. I think you will find that in back of the COVID banner under updates. We plan on doing periodic updates as time goes on over the next few weeks. Right now, at the transfer station, We are currently working on a method for accepting recyclables again. This is going to be more in a hands-off type of manner. We've had to try and retrofit some of our equipment to accept recyclables. So we hope to have a solution to that issue as soon as we can and keep you updated. Mike Scali, are you on? I don't know if Mike's on or not.
Yes, I am.
Okay, I didn't know if you had anything to add to that. That the recyclables, along with some other materials that we're unable to currently accept. Am I correct?
Yes. Yeah, we're working on changing some of our equipment in order to be able to drop off recycling while promoting social distance and keeping everyone safe. But it's going to take a little bit more time.
So, okay. And we thank everyone for their cooperation with that. I know it's kind of frustrating, but we hope to have a solution soon. And the other thing is, this is the time of year when we would normally be having Amnesty Day. Obviously, with the current situation, that's not going to be a possibility. So I'm going to make a recommendation to the Board of Health. And I've advised Dan that we probably should look at postponing Amnesty Day, at least until the fall, and reassess it at that time. So you'll be hearing more about that and updates on that. So as I say, our updates as our tasks and responsibilities will be updated on the website periodically. And right now, that's generally all I have for right now, Chief.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Next on the agenda is Community Services, Suzanne Grout-Thomas.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Oops. Yeah. We are maintaining our food delivery and our prescription and mail pickups and deliveries. The new thing is that starting Friday, where we will be creating or cooking in this building a hearty super stew, a salad, and some sides to go to the most needing of food people in Wellfleet. It turns out there's 50 of them. So Mary Ann Lucas, our chef, will be in to produce and package, and we'll have volunteers delivering and observing all current Serve Safe and COVID-19 regulations in the kitchen. So that is our newest thing. The list includes the mustard seed people. It includes the reassurance list people. It includes the people that we regularly take to the food pantry in Wellfleet and a couple of families from Wellfleet Elementary School. And that's my report.
Okay, thank you, Suzanne. Becky, do you have anything for the rec department? I know. Yeah, hi, Becky.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good. Good morning, everyone. So I just have a few quick updates. We're still committed to connecting with the community, the recreation department, in any way possible. We started doing birthday caravans. We've organized for every Wellfleet Elementary School student that has a birthday during this time. I just wanted to many thanks to the Wellfleet Police Department, Fire Department, Beach Department, elementary school staff for participating. If you're interested in joining the caravan, please contact the Recreation Department or check the website for details. We are also continuing to offer classes and events through the virtual Google Meet platform, including the Family Fun virtual dance, disco night, square dance with Ty and Amy, capoeira, martial arts class, soccer fun with Frank, and a live concert with local musician Sarah Burrell. This Google Meet platform allows you to view others during the activities, and it's sort of a fun way to connect with folks that you haven't seen in a while. This week's fitness challenge, which we just posted, includes a gymnastics and basketball component. And participants who turn in their tally sheets will have a chance to win a prize of a $25 gift certificate, which were generously donated by PJ's Family Restaurant. So The challenges are designed to just be fun and get people moving at home, and also to interact with each other. All of the links for these programs and events are on the Town of Wellfleet website, the Recreation Facebook page, and our Instagram account. So please look for them and join us. And that's about all I have for today, Chief.
Thank you, Becky. Next up is the fire department. So I'll give you just a brief reminder on some things. And open burning continues. Outdoor burning is still in place until May 1st. May 1st is when the burning season ends. And again, that's a decision by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Department of Conservation and Recreation. We are still here at the fire department. Obviously, if you would like to come in to get a open burning permit or need to conduct any other business, come in through the front door, the vestibule, and there's a table set up for applications for any permit that you might have. We can communicate with you through the speaker system. We ask that if you need to pull a permit of any type that you pay by check. It just makes it a little bit easier and a little bit streamlines the process. And then we would actually email you the permit back, or if you don't have access to email, we will be able to provide it to you in some form or fashion. Last Friday, April 17th, the emergency management team met at 1 o'clock for about 2 hours and discussed a number of issues. Two recommendations will be made to the board of to the select board at their meeting next Tuesday. And also during that discussion, obviously a big topic was the situation with the beaches. And at some point in the very near future, we're still waiting to hear from what the governor and the Department of Public Health have to recommend in terms of our social distancing and when the Commonwealth starts to begin to open up. So we're waiting for that information for another short period of time. We hope to have it out in about a week or two. But again, our recommendations are going to be largely, hopefully in line with what the Commonwealth is recommending with respect to social gatherings and opening up, if you will. And I know the town administration is having these discussions with, and the beach administration is having these discussions with our neighbors from Provincetown to Orleans, and including the National Seashore. But based upon what, again, partly what comes out of the Commonwealth and what comes from the governor, we will be making recommendations to the select board with respect to this summer activities, major events, and to what extent the beaches can be opened or utilized. At this point, as a reminder to folks out there, and some of you may not know, but essentially all uses for town property that were voted by the select board previously have been nullified. And that vote was taken last month at a select board meeting in an interest to limit folks from getting together. And again, I know that decision will be revisited by the select board at some point in the future once we get a better handle as to where we are. So that's all I have at this point. Chief Hurley, update from the police department?
Thanks, Chief. I appreciate it. And just echo, the meeting we had on Friday was very productive with the emergency management team, and we're hoping to bring some more suggestions forward to the select board. I was just looking at a calendar. We're 4 weeks away from Memorial Day weekend, so it is it's closing in, and I think that especially communication on the Outer Cape is key to make sure we're not pushing the problem around to other communities. Just understand this will never be perfect. We're trying to corral a lot of people. We're trying to push out a lot of information. But this team has been working great together, and Dan got us all together last Friday on that. The police department staff is still healthy. We're working within our new guidelines still to make sure that we all stay healthy here. The state has released some new ways of doing restraining orders and harassment orders. I know some people are hesitant to either come here to the police department or have us come to the residence. So the court has made it where we can email the forms to your house have the forms filled out and sent back to an officer who can call an on-call judge. I know over the past few weeks, I've been getting some inquiries on, we've seen domestic violence in our community increasing lately. In all honesty, not reported to the department. We're not naive that there's a lot of stress in the community right now, in households, with neighbors. I know one thing we are seeing an uptick are people, which I appreciate, trying to give a gentle reminder out in public to wear a mask. But we've had a few incidences where it's almost become physical, and that's really not something that we're advocating. If it's inside a business, please go to the management of that business and advise them. They have every right to ask the person to leave the business if they're not complying with their rules. But please, it's not worth getting into a fight over. It's not worth having criminal charges filed. But we are seeing an uptick in that. And as much as we appreciate the gentle reminder, it is becoming a little bit of a problem. So I just wanted to put that out there. But as far as the domestics, unless they're not being reported to us, and please, if you suspect family or neighbors or anybody that are struggling or are having issues, please don't hesitate to call our department. We're very, we're very confidential in how we handle things and discreet in looking into matters. So, but I just want to throw out there, the court does have a new system in place that we can utilize to keep social distance apart. A big thank you to school, recreation, and the fire department. We've been doing some caravans, one was popped up last week on thanking the school and the common table and the marketplace. And to be honest, we're having stressful days here, and it was something refreshing to participate in, see some tears, see some laughs, and, along with the birthday caravans. I have 3 kids at home right now, and, the stress, it's hard. And to put a smile on these kids' face right now is, it makes it all worth it. So we're happy to participate. We appreciate Becky driving this, and we will continue through the remainder of the school year with that. One other thing, I'm not sure if Jennifer is on the line today. She forwarded to me this past weekend a program in Provincetown. It's a stress task force team. And they basically have some professionals that are reaching out daily or weekly with people that are struggling. And I'm going to be looking into that a little further. There are some logistics involved with that, especially where we would need some professionals that would be able to help people. But it is either daily or weekly check-in. It's a buddy system. But I want to give credit to Jennifer from the library. She forwarded that to me, and we'll be looking into that this week. Again, please just look out for family, friends, and neighbors as we continue to maneuver through this as a community. Thanks, Chief.
Thank you, Chief. Again, Mike, you make an excellent point. Everyone's stress level is elevated. We understand it. We're seeing it also in the community. And the best thing that we can do to help each other is reach out and be there, keeping all social distancing efforts in place, but telephone, text, Zoom chat, having a conversation with your neighbor across the property line, those things are all important. And I know this is a great community, and something that we will continue to do is look out for each other. Having said that, I know Jennifer is on the line, and I believe she wanted to provide an update from the library. Jennifer,
Hello. Hi,
morning.
everyone. Yes, I did forward that thing to you, Chief. I saw it on Provincetown's community space, and I thought it was a really interesting idea. And you had talked about mental health. We both talked about that, and I think it's they do have some kind of system in place. And I talked to someone who knows the person in charge, and I could get back to you on that.
Great.
In terms of libraries, we at the Wellfleet Library, have our own concerns about opening, just like anybody would who have face-to-face contact with people. We had a board meeting last Monday night, and we talked about this a lot. And we are trying to think about what this future is going to look like in terms of opening a building that will have public coming in and wanting to work with the public and keep the public safe and keep us safe. And it's a very important and ongoing discussion in unknown and uncharted territories. And it's happening with us as well as me and other libraries and clams wide and statewide and nationally. So it's really something unknown, and it's something else. I'm scheduled to discuss some ideas with the other Outer Cape library directors later, and I will see what they have to say. But there are a lot of procedures to put into place, because no matter when we actually open, we can't just say, okay, May 4th or whatever, boom, here we are, open, circulation desk open for business, all the computers are open, everybody sit down and we'll help you face to face. You know, we have to figure out some kind of protocol, and that's going to be a really big task, and that's going to be kind of our main task. In terms of what we're doing content-wise, we're pushing out a lot of content. Digital content. If you go to our homepage, wellfleetlibrary.org, on the front page, you'll see all of the digital content that we have that you can use with your Wellfleet Library card. If you are a Wellfleet person in need of a Wellfleet Library card and don't have one, please email me, Wellfleet Library, Jennifer, at my jennifer.wortgen@wellfleet-ma.gov email, or you'll see a Google Voice number on the website that you could call me at, and I could help you with that so that you could get some of that content. And we've added a lot of it so that you have a lot of things to do. I've also bought a digital subscription to the New York Times, and you'll see that on that homepage. And so any of you that do not get the paper, you now do. So hopefully you can make use of that. It has all of the features except for the Sunday crossword, I'm sorry, that you would get with a regular digital subscription, so that you could get all the interactive news and whatever. The final thing I will say is that our, as you may know, we have a seed library, and every year it's something that the Friends of the Library provide, and we put it in one of our old card catalogs, and people come in and get seeds and get a head start on their spring planting. And this year we decided we would do seeds by mail, and there's a link on that homepage of our webpage homepage as well, for seeds by mail. This year, the folks at the farmers market are also telling their seed swap people to organize and have their seeds go to help us with our seed swap as well. So they're kind of organizing all the seeds to go together. And you can see those on the farmers market social media posts, where to send your seeds if you were planning to participate in that. So I think that is it for me. We're still checking on a lot of our patrons, and please let me know if you have any questions or concerns. We are here for the community. Thanks.
Excellent. Thank you, Jennifer. Very much appreciated. Next, we're going to go to town administration, and I'd like to just go in order of Mr. Hort, Mr. Travato, and then, of course, any of the select board members if they have anything. So, Dan, you're up.
Thanks, Chief. During the select board meeting on 4/28, it'll be next Tuesday, they'll make decisions about town meeting and the town election. I have a feeling at this point, unless mail-in voting becomes an option for town meeting, I kind of expect the select board to vote to postpone town meeting until the fall. I don't think we're anywhere close being willing to all gather in a small confined space to vote on town meeting articles. There are legislative provisions that solve most of the problems of, for example, not having a budget approved when you start a new fiscal year. So it is doable. It's all in fluctuation depending on what the legislature decides and depending on what the discussion happens on Tuesday night with the select board. Town election decision will be made on that next Tuesday as well. Current regulations require that a town election be held no later than June 30th. So we have limited options as to when a town election. So town election will be postponed most likely to sometime in June. And at that time, we will really strongly encourage everyone to vote by absentee ballot. So we really have a limited amount of in-person voting. And lastly, and probably one of the most important things is so many of our residents are hurting right now. I want to remind everybody that if you are able, it would be great to have a donation to the Taxation Aid Fund. This will allow us to help people who have a problem paying their taxes. We expect that there are going to be numerous requests this year, more than usual, due to the current situation. So if anybody would like to make a donation, please contact us at Town Hall, or you can send a check to Town Hall and just put in the memo line that it's a Taxation Fund donation. And that's it for me. I'll turn it over to Mike if he has something.
Good morning, everyone. Just want to mention a couple of items. First is there's a new Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, PUA, that the state just announced that Mass residents who are not eligible for regular unemployment benefits can now apply for online. This new program provides 39 weeks of unemployment benefits and includes self-employment workers and independent contractors, among others. And so applicants can learn more and apply at mass.gov/PUA. And secondly, people are asking about how they can help. Obviously, Common Table is one option. Another one I just want to make mention to is the Cape and Islands Major Crisis Relief Fund, which was established by the Cape Cod Times Needy Fund. This nonprofit disaster response organization provides humanitarian aid to local individuals and families. So if you're interested in donating, volunteering, or even if you're in need of aid, you can go online to majorcrisisrelieffund.org. The unemployment program I just mentioned, we've actually just posted the guidebook for that online as well. So that's all I have today.
Great, thank you, Mike. I see Kathleen Bacon has her hand up. Good morning, Kathleen.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. I've got a bunch. I'm going to start with the DPW, either Jay or Mark. Is there any consideration being given to making the harbor walkway one-way? And what would it require? Us putting up some signs? I know myself in walking the dog down there, it's very hard to distance yourself 6 feet apart on a narrow sidewalk. So this has been suggested, and I'm wondering if we can put this forward. Mark or Jay?
Kathleen, this is Mark. That is, sorry, that's something I'm just hearing about now. So I'll have to speak with Jay about that and see what we can come back with.
Thank you. Great. Dan Hort. Dan, good morning. I'm hearing from people out on the flats that there are a lot of people clamming these days. Some of them are unlicensed. Could you reach out to the Shellfish Constable and see if she needs more help down there, either through AmeriCorps or, you know, somebody that's looking for some part-time work to help the Shellfish Department? You know, if that is the case, you know, she needs to check licenses, what the enforcing is down there. But I've heard this from a number of people.
This is Nancy.
Hi, Nance.
Hi. Do you want to give me a ring after about this? Because we've been on patrol and checking people, and we probably have kicked off, I don't know, between 5 and 10 people over the past 3 weeks. But I'd like a little bit more specifics, if I can connect with you afterwards. We'll make sure.
Well, Great. Do you think you need more help, though? Nancy, do you think you need
Yeah.
more help?
I mean, Drew should be coming back in May, and that will be a godsend.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, for both chiefs, Chief Hurley, Chief Polly, any consideration to using the marquee at the drive-in and the marquee at Watt Theater, specifically to say 14-day quarantine, advisory of mask and gloves, and to be vigilant about social distancing? I know we can't enforce this, but it's apparent that there are a lot of people not masking or gloving or even social distancing out there. You'll see it at Cumberland Farms. You'll see it at the mobile station. You'll see it in several other places in town. I wonder if we can use those two large marquees out on the highway to remind people that that's what's expected of them during this crisis. Any thoughts on that, both chiefs?
Chief Hurley?
I know right now we have the electric message board. We just changed the message yesterday to for the needs right now. If anybody has any hardships, we could in a few days switch over to that message. I know the two marquees are on private property. I did see an email floating around that the What Theater, I believe, has volunteered to help out. I am not sure about the drive-in yet. It is an inquiry that we could make. However, it is private property, and I'm not sure to what degree, what messages they want to put up there, which may affect their business, would be my thoughts. But the town does have one message board we purchased, and two that are loaners, one which I have out on the beaches right now promoting social distance, and the other one is down at the rec, which we could relocate. I think we have that under control right now. Chief?
Yeah, I agree with you, Chief. But certainly, I think, Kathleen, we could have a conversation with both those entities and see if perhaps they could be willing to help out. It's certainly worth asking the question.
Yeah, anything we can use right now to just gently remind people that this is an advisory for the state, and we would like it adhered to. I think just putting it out there and people saying, oh yeah, oh my goodness, yes. My next questions are for Hillary, Board of Health. Hillary, are you still with us?
Yes, I am.
Maybe not.
I'm here.
You mentioned you've been distributing masks. How can people contact you to get masks should they need them?
Email is the best, obviously, and I think I gave out my email address when I spoke in the beginning. They can put a call in as well to the office. There's someone there, 5 days a week. So either way.
Okay, great. And you mentioned that you're starting to work with several restaurants with regard to reopening. Can you, just give us a little bit of what that looks like from a practical standpoint? Are we looking at takeout only? Yeah, just if you could speak a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, up until May 4th, we are only looking at takeout only. We are awaiting further guidance from the governor, which I hope that we get soon so that folks can start to plan. But as of right now, it's going to be takeout, curbside, delivery, and perhaps delivery options. But we have no guidance allowing us to re-engage in sit-down dining inside the establishment at this time. So folks are obviously adjusting their menus to make it easier as far as what they're going to make and how they're going to distribute it. So we're working on that. And we've asked each restaurant to sort of give us a blurb, and we have a shared social media page with the town of Truro. So Wellfleet and Truro will begin to upload, what restaurants are doing and what their process looks like and how they're staying safe to that.
Great, thank you. And Suzanne Grout-Thomas, are you still on the line?
I am.
Suzanne, I just want to thank you. I think that having your kitchen open and providing you know, a substantial meal for the 50 people in town that you know are really vulnerable during this is a lot, and it's also going to take some of the pressure off the common table, which has been kind of doing this single-handedly for almost 6 weeks now. So again, thank you, Suzanne, for getting that going. I'm sure whatever Mary Ann Lucas prepares will be excellent. And again, I just want to thank everybody that's out there on a daily basis working through this crisis, which you know, hasn't been easy. It's you know, it's not easy, and people's patience is getting short-circuited, and my own included. But I'll try and stay on the rails. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Kathleen. I think Mr. Devasto had something like to say. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning. So I have a question for Hillary since she was just on the line. I was just wondering if testing is adequate for COVID, and if there's any antibody testing available yet that you know of, and if the testing criteria is still the same as it was before, where you have to have met it was pretty stringent criteria earlier on. I'm just wondering if anybody symptomatic can actually go get testing without a problem at this point, if you know that.
So there is no more availability of tests, and we do not have the antibody test available either. It looks like more folks can get tested, but again, that goes through the doctors. It doesn't seem like there are enough tests for everyone that feels symptomatic. So testing is still one of our biggest problems here.
So the numbers potentially could be higher than they appear to be in Wellfleet if there's people who aren't critical or really been in contact with somebody who's been confirmed.
Absolutely, and I think we've maintained that from the beginning, that the numbers you see online are just that, but there are those people that are symptomatic and told to just stay home for 14 days, or those that don't even report or call their doctor and are just staying home. So we don't know who those people are. Certainly nobody's called me to say, hey, I've got all these symptoms of COVID, I'm just going to self-quarantine. So, I mean, we just don't know.
That basically just wanted to clarify that the numbers are not necessarily the numbers, so people don't let their guard down, because if it seems like there's one active case, people might think that it's okay, nobody has it in town, we can all hang out.
And again, I would emphasize too, there are the asymptomatic carriers, which are the biggest threat to all of us, right? They just tested in Brewster, 60 residents at a nursing home tested positive, and I think a large portion of that 60 were asymptomatic. So that's the frightening part.
Yeah. And then the next question I had for Dan Hort, if Dan's on the line still.
I'm here.
Hi, Dan. Hey, I was just wondering if you've heard from other town administrators about what they're planning on doing with in regards to short-term rentals or beaches, if there's plans, if there's been any progress, if you've heard from any other town administrators on these subjects. I'm getting a little concerned about hot weather and short-term rentals, and I'm just wondering if you've heard anything.
We have a conference call on Thursday morning with the 5 from Chatham all the way to Provincetown and the National Seashore, so that we're talking about these very issues. One of the things, you know, I was going to wait until we actually talked about it during the select board meeting, but one of the things that your task force is recommending is that the main parking lot for Whitecrest Beach be closed for the summer. To limit the number of day trippers who might come into town. We're looking at how we can make people the most safe while still not infringing too much on their ability to go out and get exercise. So that's what the task force is recommending at this time. And then I'll have further information after we have the conference call on Thursday with the Outer Cape town administrators and the seashore.
Okay. And I had one other question, but it just slipped my mind. So I'll have to catch you some other time.
Okay.
And the other thing was about the beaches, if Suzanne's on the line.
I'm here, Mike.
Hey, Suzanne.
Morning.
So I'm just wondering logistically, I've got a couple ideas of maybe ways where we could keep the beach open as long as we can without allowing too many cars at once. So like, and I'm wondering if you guys have considered not selling short-term beach stickers. Is that something that's on your radar?
It's under discussion. We discussed it briefly at last Friday's meeting, and I just got an idea this morning during this meeting that I will be bringing to the select board about not only limiting it to resident taxpayers, but making the date that they're required much earlier so that we can start to control this as soon as the weather gets good.
Okay, that sounds great. And the other thing I was wondering if maybe the parking lots that are big could be like lessened in capacity as far as how many cars are allowed to park there, just so that, there's not bottlenecking of people on the beach. Well, I know we're lucky to have vast expanses of beach. But
yeah, I think that's a discussion for another time. I'd like to get, I want to hear, I'm having a conference call, Zoom meeting on Tuesday with the beach managers from Falmouth to Provincetown. And then I will be listening into the managers and town administrators meeting on Thursday. And at that point, I'll have much better handle on what other towns are doing and be able to make some real recommendations to the emergency management team and the select board.
That's great. Thank you, Suzanne.
You're
And then
welcome.
the last thing is I just want to thank everyone for communicating so well and having these discussions. I think it's just so important that everybody's got sort of public communication going on about these things. And even if people aren't on here, the information gets spread out throughout town through word of mouth. So it's just so important that this is happening, and I appreciate everybody's real commitment to their jobs and what they're doing. So thank you all.
Thank you very much, Mike. I think I'll go with Ms. Wilson next, and then after Ms. Carlson. Good morning.
Good morning, and I want to echo what many people have already said, which is thank you to everybody, especially about the communication. So I think it was yesterday I shared with the town administrator and the beach administrator, Suzanne and Dan, a document that is current about the persistence of the virus in saltwater, pond water, and water in general. And this is breaking news. A lot of the science on this virus is breaking, but very soon we are all going to be wanting to get in the water. And I'm going to recommend that anybody that wants to read it, you go to the World Health Organization and you read what's there about it. Somebody that I've worked with a lot who's a scientist, Barbara Benisel, she and I communicated the fact that we needed to start looking at this. I'm not saying we should close ponds and saltwater beaches. I'm just saying we need to know everything there is to know about it as soon as possible. That's the first thing. The second thing, I feel that the issue is not short-term rental or day trippers. It's how they use the community and how the essential workers in the businesses that are open are impacted by that. I would like to know if it's legal for us to require that people wear masks or a bandana over their face, as well as gloves, if they go into essential businesses. The other thing is at beaches, the real issue, to use a word that Mike DeVasto used, is the bottleneck where people go down onto beaches and the area right near it where people tend to congregate if they know each other. So for me, it's not how many people go there, how many cars are there. It's how close people get to each other, and where they tend to get too close to each other is right around that bottleneck. So rather than prohibiting people from coming up here, because they can all use the highway, it's a state highway, to focus on that and to protecting our essential workers and the places where we know people who come here for the day or for short term are going to be going in and getting food, getting gas, and so forth. Third thing, I always listen to Governor Baker's briefings when I can, almost every day, and I listen. But we should be, how shall I say this? I want to be a grown-up on the select board. In other words, I'm not waiting for daddy to tell me what to do. If we need to be more restrictive than what Governor Baker recommends, we should be able to do that. I think that's common sense, and we may all already be thinking that. Fourth thing, marquees. I strongly feel that you don't want to put any information on a marquee that somebody has to write down or memorize while they're driving. I feel that wear masks in essential businesses would be a good thing on the drive-in marquee, and it could be read quickly, something like that. I also feel that if you've read the information coming out of MIT and I think some other places now, distancing at 6 feet with a mask is better than not, but 6 feet is the minimum. This virus in dry weather, depending on if you're upwind or downwind, of course, or if you're in an enclosed space or if the air is still, 6 feet is the minimum if you don't have a mask on, but it's actually not safe enough. The aerosol life of this virus in dry weather extends way beyond 6 feet in some situations. So it should say at least 6 feet. 7 feet is not even a magic bullet for this. One of the best things I've heard this morning, and I've heard many, many good things, came from Chief Hurley. It reminded me of something we learned during the first wave of Ebola in Africa. I'm trying to remember which country it came out of. I apologize for not remembering that. What they did was they addressed it in many, many different ways. There was no one way they addressed it, and it actually solved the problem for a time. It's a matter of degree. It will not be perfect, and we should always not look at any one solution for this, obviously. That's also common sense. So, okay, is that everything? Hold on a minute. Yeah, that's everything for me, except for a request to find out if it's legal for us, I'm restating this, to have the town say you have to wear masks or something over your face in essential businesses. And through you to Dan Hort. Or if anybody that knows the answer to this, Hillary, anybody. I'm done.
Thank you, Helen. Can I just ask Chief Hurley to think about that? He and I can have a conversation offline with respect of, how restrictive we can be, certainly bringing Hillary and Mr. Hort into the conversation too. And we'll certainly have, I think, a pretty good discussion about that. And Justina, you're next, please.
Thank you. Well, I see it's almost 10, so I'll be as brief as I can. But I have to thank all department heads, employees, Dan and Mr. Travato. It's very impressive and moving, the work you guys are doing. The professionalism is amazing. Dan, a quick question. Are we getting anything out of Sarah Peak or Julian Sears' office about which way the governor may be moving?
At this time, we haven't got any clues from them about what the governor might be announcing. I do the same as Helen, as I listen to his or Marty Welsh's updates every day to try and collect any more information I can get, but we don't have any clues as to where they're going with this yet.
Yeah, got it. I'm going to say something that I'm sure is on everybody's mind about how we keep ourselves safe with the summer population influx. I think limiting the day trippers is really great. And I know the real estate agents are waiting for guidance on how to handle the leases they already have. I think it would be optimum to try and restrict summer rentals. I don't know if we can, because I know there's about 700 to 1,000 of them in town, and social distancing will be real hard. So that's about what I've got to say. And thank you.
Thank you very much, Justina. Courtney, I'm going to turn this over to you if you could see if anyone has any questions out there.
Chief Polly, I had one more thing.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to add this, and it's addressed to Suzanne. So given that the people who are really in need for food, it's a little different than it normally is. And one thing I discovered when I needed to use that service about 6 months ago, was that there are a lot of people who don't eat meat. And in other words, if there's no vegetarian option for delivery, even if it's just extra vegetables or whatever, and no meat, you are actually restricting who can benefit from the many, the food service that you described. And I don't think that's a good time to do that. If you have ham as the only thing that's being delivered and somebody can't eat it, that's discriminatory. So I just wanted to put that out there as a consideration.
Thank you for that. We did query each person for allergies and preferences, and out of the 50 people, one person said she was vegan, and nobody else indicated a preference or an inability to eat anything. So we will proceed from there. As the weeks go by and we learn what people prefer, that's another story. But right now we do only have the one, and it's going to be, there'll be enough variety in what's out there that the person who prefers the vegan option will get food in addition to everybody else.
I'm not talking about vegan, although that is a decision that some people make because they have to for health. I'm talking about simply not wanting to eat meat.
We did not get that as a response, Helen.
Yes, and I appreciate, that's good. That means that you're reaching a lot of people. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Courtney, do you have anyone out there that may want to ask a question?
Yeah, so there's one question about where is there a source for disposable gloves? I guess people are having trouble finding gloves in places. If anybody has any recommendations on that.
Courtney, it's Suzanne.
Yep.
We just ordered a case of gloves, the clear ones that are for kitchen use, and our drivers have been wearing those, and they are disposable. So I will investigate getting more gloves, and then we can talk about distribution to people, because they're definitely not medical quality, but they do provide a barrier.
Okay, great. And then there was a question about where to read about pond and saltwater safety for swimming, and it looks like that was answered with a website link. Susan from the Wellfleet Seasonal Resident Association says she'll wait to send out more information to their members until next Tuesday's meeting. The big issue will be rentals and beaches. And again, just a reminder that next Tuesday's select board meeting at 6 o'clock we'll be discussing those recommendations. And the MSC is for gloves. So Dan Silverman posted that link in the chat. It's mscdirect.com. I'll put that in the notes as well. And as far as the safety in saltwater and swimming, I know the Oceanographic Institute did an article last week that was online. And they basically have said they don't have tons of information yet. So if anybody knows any accurate information, I think that Helen had mentioned WHO, the World Health Organization, but let's just try and focus on information that is accurate and coming from reliable sources. So if anybody has anything they want to add to that, and they can email me at courtney.butler@wellfleet-ma.gov, and I'll put that information out on the website. Hillary, do you have any comments?
Yep, I do. The World Health Organization information is great, but it's not directly related to swimming safety. It talks about transmission of the virus in water, and it does have some useful information. The county and the state are also looking for good sources of research. We are aware of the article that was in Surfrider, which I think is the same one that the Woods Hole Oceanographic folks put out. So the state and the county are looking for, you know, scientific relevant information to our bathing beaches. So once we get that, we will put that out there as well.
Great, thank you. At this point, I'll scroll through the faces, but I'm not seeing anybody else with their hand up right now.
Okay, thank you. One last call for questions from anyone. I'm not seeing any either.
Sorry, Chief. Claudia, do you have a comment? No, okay.
Please use the raise your hand button in the future, folks. With this many people on, it's hard for me to see who are physically raising their hand, so.
All right. Chief
Claudia.
Hurley?
No, I think Claudia had, did she have something or no?
I think she said no, Courtney.
Okay, all right.
All right, it's just after, it's about 11. Chief Hurley, anything to add before we say goodbye?
Nope, I'm good. Thanks again, Chief. As they say, same time, same place next week.
Yes, sir. 10 o'clock Tuesday morning, we're here. I want to thank everyone for participating. Again, we have over 50 participants, and it is nice to have this outreach. So everyone stay healthy, stay safe, please. And as I said before, we're very resilient, and we will get through this as a community and as a Cape community. Everyone have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you.